Hey guys, Kelly Craft here, and we are going to do a quick tutorial using some of my favorite eyeshadow brushes. I was trying to decide which eyeshadow palette I wanted to show you, and so I thought, you know what, we're going to do a little bit of like a more of a smoky kind of out on the town kind of look. So I've already done my makeup. I've already primed my eyelids with my highlight, and then I set with my Vanilla Dust setting powder. So just a couple of my favorite must-have eyeshadow brushes, okay? The first one is the eyeshadow brush. And so this is an amazing brush because it really does all the things. So if you're just wanting one brush, I would definitely recommend considering the eyeshadow brush. It has like this really soft blending end, and then it's got more of a domed end. It's a little bit bigger, so a lot of times I will use this for my under lash line smudging of my eyeshadow, but sometimes I find this end can be just a little bit big. So I'm going to show you some other brushes that kind of make your life a little bit easier, but we're going to start with this brush, and we're going to be doing this eyeshadow combo tonight. And so I always pick like a matte kind of middle shade as my transition or my crease color. So I'm just going to load up this color. You can see when I tap that off, when you have your makeup done, go ahead and tap the excess product off so you do not get the fallout of the powders. Now, the amazing thing about this eyeshadow brush is that I can have tons and tons of control. So if you've ever tried SEINT eyeshadow, you know that the colors are super duper pigmented, meaning you only need a tiny bit of product. I love the fluffy end of the eyeshadow brush because it allows me to really kind of blend out that color, even if you are using a more harsh kind of scary color. This brush really kind of takes it up a step and makes the blending process really easy. So I just apply a little bit of the product kind of towards the outer lid where I want the most color to be. And then I just kind of do like a windshield wiper and I just blend it or mute it out to my liking. So that is Claire, okay? If you're wanting a little bit more of a muted look or less of a dense kind of color, this is a great brush too. This one is called the Bright Brush. So you can see it's very similar to the eyeshadow brush, except the fluffy end is going to be a lot bigger, and the smaller end obviously is a lot smaller. It's not as wide as the eyeshadow brush. So this is the Bright Brush. This is part of the Demi collection. So you'll see my brush is silver. The newer ones are now going to be gold. But I like to use this brush for my eyeshadow if I'm wanting a little bit of a muted kind of control of the color. But essentially the brush is going to do the same thing as far as applying my crease or my transition color. So you can see the difference how this one is a little bit more concentrated. So this is a great option as well. The cool thing about the Bright Brush is you can do all other kinds of things. Like I love this very small end, like I said, to blend in or kind of line that lower lash with my dark eyeshadow color. One of my favorite ways to use this brush is to use my contour down the sides of my nose because it's such a small end. It makes it super easy to apply. Another way I like to use this brush is to pop a little bit of my powder illuminator to the inner corner of the eyes too. So I'll show you that in just a minute. So that is Claire. I'm going to kind of even these up. So I just picked up the eyeshadow brush and I'm just going to add a little bit more of that Claire so that it looks the same. Okay. Now, the next brush that I absolutely love is going to be the smudge brush. Now this brush is awesome because you can see it's got like this flat kind of end and it's got a more dense, larger end. So if you are really wanting like a concentrated, detailed look where it's going to pick up more pigment, this is an amazing brush. I use this brush all the time to pat on my shimmer eyeshadows or to add definition to my outer corner So that's how we're going to use it today. Again, this brush can be used for your entire look as far as your eyes. But another way you'll see ladies use this is the application of the cheetah method. So you can literally dab into your products and dot or swipe your colors on and then blend them out. So you're getting lots of value for this brush because you can use it for both eyes and for your makeup as well. So I'm going to show you how I would use it for my outer corner. So this is the palette we're working with. We use Claire. I'm going to use this very dark color called Salem, which a lot of ladies are like, that is a black color. I don't think so. So you can see I picked up just the very smallest amount. And so because I can always add more versus trying to take it away. So because this round end of this brush is really dense, it's going to give me tons of control. Now you can see I'm just taking this color along that lower lash, okay? And then I'm pulling it a little bit up into the crease, okay? And we're going to blend it a little bit more than that in just a second. So I'm just going to load my brush up with just a little bit more, and we're going to do the same thing here. But you can see the difference because this brush is so dense and it's a little larger, how it gives me tons of control when I'm doing my eye looks. I do find that the diameter of this brush is really good using it in your outer corner because it's the exact size that I need it to be. So I don't have to move my brush around. So you can see I just put it along that lash line and then a little bit up into the crease. So now I'm gonna go back to the handy dandy eyeshadow brush, and I'm literally just going to do circular motions to kind of mute out that dark color. Now, be very careful. A lot of ladies that I talk to about eyeshadow, they're like, how do you get your eyeshadows where, you know, you're not smudging it all together. You leave it kind of in a defined place where you can see all the colors. And this is exactly how. You don't want to take the color and mix it everywhere, okay? So I just literally take it right where I placed it, and I just keep blending until I get the muted out color that I want. See, that's how it nice, and it smokes it up. So I'm just gonna do the same thing here, like so. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the smudge brush, and I'm gonna show you the flat end of this brush we're gonna use in our beautiful silver color called Glass Slipper. So again, if you really want to pick up the shimmer, I just use the flat end of this brush. You can see I tapped off, but this is a great brush for packing on shimmer colors. So I'm gonna take Glass Slipper right in the center of the lid, like this. And I'm just literally packing on that color, okay? Another awesome brush for that is the multitasker brush where it's got this flat end. My new love is the etch brush. So this is one of our newer brushes. It's got a very flat end that's amazing for winging out eyeliner, but it's also really good for applying the color like I just did with the smudge brush. So I can take this brush and pick up my shimmer color, and it's just a little bit smaller, so it gives me a lot of control, and it also has like this really flat end. So if I want to work the color like really in the crease, like so, because the brush is so flat, it makes it really easy to do that. You see the difference? This is a winner brush. This is the etch brush. Okay, so we've got that on. Now we're gonna use, let's use, I'm trying to decide. Let's go ahead and stick with the etch brush. I'm gonna use the smaller end, and we're gonna go into our lightest shimmer called Soulmate. Now I love this brush. This is great for smudging eyeshadow along the bottom of the lash line, but it's also great because it's so small to add your inner corner brightness color. It picks up great pigment, and it gives you a ton of control because it is so small. So I tend not to make a big mess, okay? So good. Do you see how easy that is? The edge brush is one that I use every day now. So it gives me a lot of control. Isn't that so pretty? Now I'm gonna go back to my blending brush, which is my eyeshadow brush. I love it. I just wiped all that excess off, and I'm lightly just going to blend in that crease where the colors meet so that there is no harsh lines. So just very softly. Like that. Okay, now we can go back to the bright brush, which is one of the demi brushes, and that small end. We're gonna take a little bit of our powder illuminator glazing. I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of glazing, and we're gonna pop that right here in that inner corner. The light picks it up beautifully, and it just adds a little something extra to your look. So again, these smaller brushes are great for eyes because they give you so much control. Okay, I will also take a little bit of that glazing with this bright brush, and I'm gonna pop it right along the arch of the brow. See how that picks up the light just so beautifully. So again, smaller brush makes that process just a little bit easier. Right? So pretty. Okay, now let's go back to the edge brush, the small end that we used a minute ago. I'm going to show you how I can dip into my cream Black Friday eyeliner. So it's got this amazing flat end, and I literally can go right along that lash line to make my lashes look a little thicker. In addition, I can wing out my look super easy because it's a flat brush. Okay. Same thing here. Just gonna add a little depth right along where that mascara and that lash line is. And we'll add a little wing. Super, super easy, right? We'll go ahead and take a little bit of that dark Salem eyeshadow with the etch brush as well. And I'm just going to smudge that. Again, having a small brush like this for your eyeshadow is so amazing because it gives me tons of control and it gives a real clean look. So I love to use eyeshadow under the lower lash. Okay, so eyeshadow brushes, aren't they amazing? We'll pop on a little bit of mascara and we will be good to go. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And trust me, adding some of these brushes to your eyeshadow arsenal, you won't be sorry. Thanks, guys.